the underdog here.
But then moving on, we mentioned a tiny tad bit there. Is Quag now on paper, right? If the top deck is Reshizard via day 2 entries, and then Pikarom is the second one, then surely Quag has to be the best counter deck right now. Surely it may be outside Zoroark, or if you include Zoroark as a counter deck, which is nuts to think of now. But surely, right? Because you've got the fighting type Quagsire, and you've got Onyx. But Onyx, I learned the other day, doesn't actually one shot Eevee Snorlax, which is a joke. But there you go. That's a different story for another day. But on paper, right? Weakness on the top 2. Weakness is ×2. Easy day. You give up 1 prize day and you take 3. Kirk, is it Nagquag's time? Because it hasn't really had a deep run. Could you see it happening at Columbus?
There's here's why I don't think it is. Because there was a lot of very good players playing it in Madison, a lot of very good players that converted to day 2, and a lot of very good players that took losses all day to Reshiram Charizard to not even sniff the top 8. So based on those results only, maybe in some cases you can make a defense that it was the pilots that maybe didn't understand the matchup or didn't understand how to navigate 2 Eevee Snorlax or whatever the case may be. But that isn't the case. There were some very good players in day 2, Ross Koff and Frank Persick, that were all playing Quagnag. And even with the counter deck, they didn't counter what they were trying to. And it was literally half of the field. So I'm gonna say I'm hesitant.
Okay, and then the same question to you, Rudy. Do we think it's the best counter deck?
I might get a lot of hate for saying this, but I think Nagquag is almost a joke. I think the deck is extremely inconsistent. I think the deck does not hit any really good numbers, and it loses to the Reshizard. Like, I don't see a reason you would ever play that deck. Honestly, in all honesty, why would you play it if you're not even countering the deck that you're trying to counter, as well as the inconsistency issues of the deck?
Wow, the hot takes from Rudy today. I love it. Oh my god, come on, can't be a joke deck. Come on, look at him, man. It's so weird because on paper, if you look at that Quagsire, right, the water type one, move all energy up, got a good attack. You think on paper this has to Aqua Patch as well. I think this has to be good, but you're right. It just seems to just mess about and not actually win when it should.
The reason that is because it's playing a deck that needs to set up multiple stage 1s, but it's not Zoroark, so you're not drawing cards. You're setting up these stage 1s that are super, like, they're one prize or lackluster stage 1s that you require setup to set up, and they're not doing the job. I don't think the deck is good. I don't think I would play it ever.
I will bring up, if I can, Shay, real quick, round 9 Madison footage. I want to apologize to the Nagquag player because I misrepresented what he actually had in play game 1. But the point that I'm making doesn't necessarily hinge on that. So game 1, he had a Mew bench barrier in the active, 1 Wooper, 1 Poipole, had to let loose himself to try and get more basics down, got down a Ditto Prism, and then immediately lost the game to Michael Pramawat, who had turn 1 Kiawade on a Reshiram Charizard and had gone all in on it in the dark because the Mew bench barrier was in the starter. Like, all this gentleman had to do was have a less than stellar draw and just been able to hit in once. Pram went all in on this Reshizard, just didn't matter because he had to let loose to try and get something going. He completely sputtered. He had a dead hand with too many waters and stage 1s, as Rudy mentioned, and he had about as much success as pissing into the wind. He just got rolled in that first game, buddy.
Yeah, and it's just so weird to think about, right? Like, in theory, we take 3 prizes at a time with a 1 prize attacker, but we all seem to be in agreement that it just doesn't ever seem to happen that way, does it? It's just so weird. When you look at it on paper, I'm just like, how does this not work? Like, I've never lost to it in a competitive environment, just saying, but it's just like, I feel as if it needs a sort of an intermediary attacker that doesn't need 4 energy to, just get like a little 2 energy bopper, something like that, but unfortunately, that doesn't exist. So, we all in agreement that we don't see it doing a big run in Columbus then?
Absolutely not.
And I don't see that happening either. And that's taking out of the equation all the decks it doesn't counter that it can run into. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that used to be one of its selling points, though, right? They used to have like a decent melee and all that stuff as well, but obviously they're all chipping off. And then also, I guess, Veilor gets caught in the crossfire of Mew as well, right? Like, so now it's just a 5 energy tag team that does 180. Like, great. Like, have you seen what Pikachu does with 5 and 6 energy?
Exactly right.
So yeah, it's a sad time. I always just feel I always think now it's Nagquag's time. But I've given up now. I just don't think it's gonna happen, is it? Hey guys, thanks for watching that video. Much appreciated. Really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't hesitate to subscribe. I try and put out as much stuff here as I can. Full deck profiles plus games, topic conversational pieces regarding anything in the TCG. Check out my Twitter, check out my Facebook. That's where I get most of the updates, sort of see what's going on behind the scenes, all that good stuff. Also check out the SoundCloud for the full bi-weekly podcast. If you're interested, if you like the conversational pieces, go check that out. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a good day.